To episode 7 of the Artist Out of Studio podcast. We've got the lovely Clare Woods here from New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you, Hadley. How are you doing?
Really good.
Good.
So tell us, what's the latest in the New Zealand art scene?
Oh, latest in the New Zealand art scene. Recently, we've had Art in the Park. That was pretty exciting.
So gutted I missed it.
I've been 2 years in a row. I didn't actually make it this week, for weekend just gone. But it's a pretty impressive show for anyone who needs to go and see any art in New Zealand. That's a nice, good one to go to.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably like the best show in Auckland. Maybe not the best, but like one of the best.
Yeah, definitely one of the best. Yeah, pretty high profile.
Because you got that Auckland Art Show, and then I guess like people have like an individual exhibition.
Yeah,
or
and there's
something.
also really good ones, when you're starting out, things like Mag's Art Show, which is Mount
Yeah.
Albert Grammar School, which is great.
Yeah.
Amazing number of artists there, and they're incredible, the people that run that one. There's the one just down the road here at Barradine, that's amazing as well. I sold out there last year.
Yo, high five.
Yep, and I sold 8 there this time, so that was really cool. And I've actually invested in myself, and I'm doing New Zealand Art Show in Wellington next year.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right. So what's the collection? What are you planning for that one?
I am planning to use a lot of blank inspiration canvases and pre-framed canvas because they are just they're fantastic quality. Anyway, you already know that.
Thank you.
But I'll be using a lot of those. That's what I've just been picking up today. And I will be creating a load more tapas. But I'm also thinking, I've got some small ones to do some more landscapes because my landscapes sold out.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
recently they sold out. So I'm thinking, okay, and they're good fun.
Because some of yours you could kind of go portrait or landscape.
Yeah,
right?
you could. I've actually become quite a fan of the black and whites. But I think that, the trend at the moment is very natural frames, and which you clicked onto pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You did the black and whites first.
I love the black and whites too,
Yeah.
but they are in trend. That natural
the natural.
timber. It's kind of got like a living feel to it a bit.
Well, I find though I have to really mute my colours down. If anyone's ever seen my stuff, it's never muted, and it's I've got some pretty crazy colours going on most of the time.
We love colour.
Yeah. So I think that when I've used a natural frame, I've tended to mute my colours down a wee smidge. So I've got some more.
I know what you mean.
And now I'm going to try and see how the wham goes with those neutral frames.
Yeah, because neutral's maybe more like a colour, whereas black and white, they say like black and white aren't colours, right? That's like negatives.
But they just make it pop. I don't know.
Yeah, so they make the
just
like colour really
make it
pop. Yeah, for sure. And so, do you do like a series, or do you already have some ready for that one?
I just don't. I just opened these incredible drawers, and I was talking about this on Instagram the other day. My favourite tool in the studio is my drawers. And
so that's like number one step, open the drawers.
I just love it. What drawer am I going to go to today? They're all colour-coded, and I just pull out the drawers and I rustle through all of those swatches that I've been making. I'm a collage artist, so I have to prepare these in advance or whenever the moment takes me.
Yeah.
So, and they're all hand-painted and hand-created, or they're jelly-printed, or I've rubbed a squeegee over concrete or something to get textures and patterns and colours going on.
You're probably our first collage artist we've had on.
Yeah.
Take us through your process from when you have the idea, when you imagine.
Well, I'm
it.
kind of a little obsessed with one pattern at the moment, and I'm just pushing the pattern because it is largely thousands of pieces that I've cut up into sort of a tapa flower shape that gets repeated over and over and over, right? And I just explore. I don't get complicated by the actual pattern itself because the pattern's the same. It's what happens in the patterns and how the pieces overlay and what papers do I use next to create interesting overlaps. Some of the papers are thin and some of them are thick and some of them are. I've just recently done some jelly printing on some of my son's old economics notes from university.
Nice.
So we've got his handwriting's coming through, and it's it's like, ooh, what can I do with that?
Exciting.
So the process is where are we going in these drawers? Pull out some drawers, pull out swatches. They're all flying all over the show. I pick some colours. I start cutting them up.
Yeah.
start laying them down, and then little bits of whatever is in those particular swatches kind of drive the rest of the
Right,
piece.
right. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
in the moment,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a flow.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I know it probably seems like it's not from the outside looking in.
No, it seems more planned maybe when you
Yeah,
look at it.
but it isn't. That's not.
Wow.
The colours are not ever planned.
Just
So
depends how
it
you're
just
feeling on the day.
goes. It just happens.
I love
Yeah.
that. And when you're painting or putting this together, are you listening to music or
Yeah.
what does that kind of look
Always.
like?
Oh, look, I'm a happy joy kind of chick, honestly. So they're always like really banging
Banging tunes?
tunes.
Taylor Swift?
Oh, I'm not going to slag Taylor Swift. No, I'm not really Taylor Swift, but like the recent piece I've just finished, one of them's called Blow a Fuse,
Blow a Fuse?
and the other one it's a song by Bjork.
Yeah,
You
Swedish.
blow a fuse, zing boom. I've got one called Zing Boom that sold years ago. So a lot of the time I'll be looking for a lyric that's coming through in that song, and then I'll go, and I'll scribble it down. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
it's so
always
good for
something
captions, right?
really, really motivating.
Yeah.
And then the vibe of that lyric drives
Yeah.
the piece often.
Yeah.
It's always something pretty up tempo.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had a girl on the podcast recently and I was asking, like, where does she start with? Like, do you imagine the piece? And she starts with a word. So she almost like starts with the caption.
Interesting.
And then that inspires like the piece.
Oh.
Which is kind of the opposite, right? Where you normally you come up
Yeah.
with the caption at the end or maybe midway
Well,
through.
it depends. Like some of them, right? You still haven't found that thing until you'll be doing something random, like stacking the dishwasher or whatever. I don't know. And then a track comes and you go, oh, "That's that piece. That's that one." Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's always music.
so his
always
music. So you write a
music.
caption, like a name. Do you ever write like a story? Or more just keep it to the caption?
No, but I do know an amazing artist named Philippa Reeve, and she has the most incredible captions for her, titles for her paintings, and some of them are like paragraphs. They're actually really interesting. So go and have a look at her work. She's pretty interesting with her.
Yeah,
her names.
yeah, I love a bit of storytelling because
Yeah.
obviously if pictures tells
Things
1,000
like
words.
things like the woman that was wearing the orange dress and decided to put something in her pocket, and they go on and on and on, and they're
Interesting.
really, really cool.
That
and
is
I get
cool.
a giggle every time I hear them.
I must check that out. Because another artist, I think it was Sue, was saying how she finds like she gets sales when like her piece has a story and then like the buyer, they have their own story, like maybe whatever they see in the piece aligns with their story, and if they can kind of combine.
It's actually really interesting that you say that. Often if I've done a reel and that music is in that reel and I've told people why I've named it, it connects with people. And I had a woman on the phone with me crying a while ago because she thought she'd missed out on a piece in a show, and she was really gutted. She'd gone back and it had sold, and she...
Damn.
And that was life. But she actually found another piece on my site that she actually connected with even more.
Wow.
But unfortunately, that was actually down at a gallery in the South Island. But they shipped it for her, and they shipped it to Melbourne. And so
good on
it
them.
was pretty
Wow.
cool, yeah. So it's really exciting how people connect with things because of music and names of things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
where it relates to their own lives.
It's almost like the stars align and it's like they have to
That's
have
what I
it
want.
and it's like perfect, right?
Yeah.
And just when you're saying Melbourne there, how do you find shipping internationally?
I have never shipped one of my collage pieces, and a painting, it's not so bad, I can roll it off, but I know that the mediums I use are really flexible, they're really, really cool, but I don't think it would take rolling, so far I haven't had to do that. But if I do, it's going to cost quite a lot. Shipping from New Zealand is horrendous.
Yeah, to Aussie would be like a few hundred, I guess.
But what I am looking at doing is print. So
they can print it there.
Yeah, or even print it here, roll it and post it, whatever.
Yeah. But it's just not going to have that pop though, is it?
I don't know.
Maybe
I
it will.
actually
Maybe it
don't know
will.
because I haven't tried one. But I've been given the name of a couple of good printers out there, so I'm going to give them a crack, get them properly photographed. That's the big key, I think, getting it photographed, getting it, you know, digitally made perfect, and, you know, all of
Yeah,
that
I
signing
think
off.
prints are actually great. I've been a bit of like a original purist. Like I'd
Yeah.
rather buy like
Me too.
an original that I can afford than like
Yeah.
a amazing print.
Yeah.
But I think there's both. You know, there's
Yeah.
there's pros and cons to both.
Well, I think that for people who travel, it's tricky. You know, like for, you know, I love art from anywhere. You
Yeah,
know, and I
yeah,
usually
that
collect
story.
a piece from wherever I go. But obviously, travel has its limitations, and the cost of being in New Zealand has its limitations from a postal point of view.
Right. So if you see someone overseas, then you can just like buy a print, and it's easy to take with you.
Yeah, yeah. Or a smaller piece. You know, it depends on what you're happy with, isn't it? You know, doesn't it? I am a part of a thing called One of Many Postcard, which started off being a printmaker's journey into One of Many Postcard by a guy named John Pedder. He's in the UK. He's an incredible printmaker, massive woodcut printmaking, huge.
Yeah, there's quite a skill to it, huh?
Oh, I don't know how they do it. The hands must be like rock. But he does this charity where you send a print to anyone that requests one. Say you might do 20 prints, and you anyone in the world can say, yes, I'll have one of those. So I've been part of that a few times. They're not prints, mine are normally hand painted, or they're collage or something.
Yeah.
And those themselves getting shipped around the world costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But it's a charity, so I know that the person at the other end is going to give to the charity they choose.
Yeah.
And it's just a feel good thing.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
a really good feel good thing.
Yeah, no,
but
it
even
definitely
that
is.
costs money, you know.
Dude, just like logistics. Like with our company is the logistics side of it. It's like half the business these days.
Yeah.
Just getting all like and then damages.
Yes, and that I assume is why the big ones ship in the big boxes only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're always trying to just like make them more and more bulletproof.
Yeah.
But I think domestic inside New Zealand and other countries is okay actually. Usually.
Yeah, domestic's actually really good. You know, it's not too bad,
Yeah.
surprisingly.
Yeah,
Unless
they
it's
just-
getting shipped across to the South Island on a...
Even the South Island,
Yeah.
not too bad.
No, it's good.
Okay, so tell us about the art in your house. What have you got hanging up?
Ooh, I've got all sorts of crazy little things.
Do you
As
go
I
for big
say,
pieces or like lots of small?
It depends on the house. We've moved a few times, and so the house changes what you have. We lived in a house that had some very large walls at one stage, and so I painted quite a few really big things for that. And then
You're
it
nice.
went on the market, and the real estate agent bought them, so that was really handy. We didn't
Wow.
have to move them with us, so that was quite cool.
Yeah.
But our place has got, it's actually got a piece by an old lady, and I can't remember her name, but I imagine she passed by now. This was a very long time ago, and it's a couple of nuns, and it's called Ave Maria.
Ave
and
Maria
I bought it in
song.
a cafe. It was just one of those random things that,
Yes, aren't cafes great for art?
gotta have that. Gotta have it.
That's the moment.
Yeah, I bought it. I have a Constana Briseno, I'm sorry, Constana, I don't know how to say your name, but she's a really clever Papamoa artist.
Love that.
Gorgeous. I've got a piece of hers. I've got a Michael Lunig print. Michael Lunig's the guy that does the flip top head. You know, he's a cartoonist. And I've got one of his prints, like an original print. What else? Yeah. Apart from that, like lots of small things that I've bought that are up in the studio. You know, like the wall is cluttered with people's prints.
I want to do that. I want to start collecting smaller pieces.
Get into
and like make like a gallery wall.
One of Many postcard.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, because originally I was like, I just want big pieces to fill out the whole wall. But now actually I like collecting lots of little ones and making a gallery wall.
That's actually something I do on a semi-regular basis. I send something to my son who's in the UK. So even if they can't ship it to me, I'll get it shipped to him. And it's just something he can have on his wall because he's got a new flat. And, you know, it's kind of neat to see help him collect his own little collection of postcard size art, really.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
We always talk about it on here, like living with art, how that is like, I think a part that gets missed when people talk about art and buying paintings and
Yeah.
stuff is like, yes, it's hanging on your wall, but then it's like part of it's like a flatmate. You're living with this piece now. And you're going to see it every day,
Yeah.
right? So,
And a lot of them mean something to you. I've got a piece by an artist named Lisa Binden, who doesn't paint anymore, but she was an artist. Now she's a flower grower. So that's been an interesting, it's still creative, but it's a different outlet for her. And it's someone I've known for a long, long time. And so it's nice to have a piece of her work as well.
interesting you say outlet there. Do you find painting's like an outlet for you?
Absolutely.
Like
Anything
therapy
creative is an
almost?
outlet, isn't it? Oh, it's actually cathartic, and it's almost a form of
What do you say, cathartic? What does that mean?
it's healthy. It heals
right.
you. It's like it's therapy.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure it is.
And it's like a form of meditation in lots of ways. And artists talk about this all the time, where
Meditation.
they're getting in the zone, and you get sort of in this thing where you don't even hear what's going on around you half the time. You don't really know, and hours have gone by, and you've been cutting and gluing and sticking or painting and whatever.
I know the feeling from when I've done pieces. You know, I'm like, turn it this way.
And you've no idea where the day has gone.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah, so I guess when you're in the moment like that, you're meditating, you're not thinking about things that stress you out or whatever.
No, just totally out of it, in the zone.
Yeah, so that's maybe where the magic lies,
Absolutely.
in the therapy part of it. Do you have any other creative outlets?
I've really always painted. I've had to go at pottery. That was an absolute disaster, but I loved it. It was fun, but I was not talented. But I've always painted, and I've had to go at absolutely everything. Recently, and I'll take up courses. Like I'll go on every course known to man. About and some are paid and some are not. You know, there's a lot of people offering
I see
free
lots
art
of
stuff
they're
out there.
advertising to me.
And one I'm doing at the moment is about collage papers. That's a no-brainer. Also doing a jelly plate one at the moment. I've also done one recently on how to actually really paint a flower. How to paint flowers, because I kind of thought, can I? Of course I can. And I did, and I've done it, and I'm like, oh, tick that box. Okay, it's not my passion. That's not. I love it. I can do it.
But you got to try it to find out.
Not a passion. Yeah.
Yeah, and so do you do a lot of your training or like upskilling just like on your own? You find it online?
I'm not a group learner.
Okay. I'm a group learner
I'm
personally.
busy. I'm busy. I've got a web business. I'm busy doing other stuff, and
Fits into your schedule better.
Yeah.
And is that like YouTube kind of thing?
Yeah, some are actual courses on people's websites.
On the website, and it's got step with
but a lot of them are
book and
video,
things.
of course.
Okay, and so I know you're in SEO website stuff.
Yeah.
How does that tie in with your own art website?
My site tends to be my art
Yeah.
or my actual art website.
Your art website.
It's hopeless. I'm terrible at doing SEO on my own art website.
Why is that? Is there just a block there? Or?
I don't know. I'm not really. I don't do this it's not a full-time job. Art is not my full-time job.
Right, it's passion.
One day it might be.
Yes.
But at the moment, there's no SEO on there. There's no organic SEO. I don't even think I've loaded an SEO plugin on there. That's how shocking it is.
Because the reason I ask is because Sue, who we had on, she is a wildlife artist.
Yeah.
And so she will always put in keywords. She recommended people
absolutely do it.
And because like someone just looked up like painting of such and such bird, and it came up with hers, and that's how the person found her.
Which
and
is
found
why
the
we
art.
put hashtags in our posts, right? So I've had moons ago. I did sort of relief, negative space bird paintings.
Yeah.
I don't do those anymore.
Yeah.
But I did do them for a long time. And there was somebody Googled or did a search on Insta for, I can't even remember what it was. It was probably Clare or whatever, I don't know, some bird that I'd done. And yeah, it came
And
up.
that's how they found you.
That's a keyword. It's a keyword.
Keyword.
Keywords are absolutely vitally important for anyone's business if they're selling online, or even if they've just got their business online. Keywords.
Keywords.
Really important. Location-based keywords, specific keywords to what you do, and actually just literally look at what would you sit down and Google if you're trying to find that.
That's a great question.
That's all you need to do,
That is a great question.
and use that as your keywords.